Different levels I can never relate. You never win if you playing it safe. It's all a game until you get played.
Welcome to It's Culture Podcast. My name is Mark, and tonight, we are live in living color, and got a great show tonight. We're gonna be discussing Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. They got into it last night. And then we're gonna talk about a couple of things: terrorist attacks. One where a mother and a son were plotting a freaking school shooting, and then another one where Palm Springs, where they blew up a fertility clinic. And then finally, old Governor Wes Moore, he has pissed off a lot of people in Maryland. A lot of black folks. He done pissed them off. He said he wasn't going to do reparations, and we're going to talk about that tonight. But first, if you could do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get all the updates when I go live. And as I say on all my shows, I appreciate every last one of you. And thank you for rocking with me. Thank you so much for rocking with your boy. Yeah. We are approaching, you guys. I just wanted to announce we're approaching 14,000 subscribers on the channel. 14,000 subscribers on the channel. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of you guys who have been paying attention and rocking with me. I sincerely, really, I just saw the numbers and I'm like, whoa, I had to announce that. So thank you so much. Let's get into it. Well, the WNBA season started, and we're in season 2 of this Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. I guess you could say this goes 4 seasons now. We're going to go 4 seasons now. This is what we've been going through between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. This all started back when when LSU won the national championship, moved on to the next year, and then subsequently the draft last year and the season last year and now this year. Well, the Fever played the Sky on Saturday, and in usual form, all these pundits and people who don't like Angel Reese, who got a lot to say, who want to, do their virtual signaling, say little racial things underline, criticize her to oblivion. Doesn't matter what she's doing, whether she's at the Met Gala, working out, wearing clothes, you name it. Somebody got something to say about Angel Reese. This weekend was no exception, and everybody was waiting. It seemed like this was the hype game of the season, the Sky versus the Fever, right? Neither one of them hasn't won a championship in a while, but hey, this is what everybody wants to see. This is must-see TV. So, in the middle of the game, a foul happened where Caitlin Clark fouled Angel Reese. And I want y'all to see this because this little foul caused so much backlash online. Let's take a look.
Strong on a 3. And look out, Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up into Caitlin Clark. Afterwards has something to say as Clark walks away. We know there are always increased eyeballs, energy, and attention around the matchups between Reese and Clark, and Angel Reese is still going after Caitlin Clark in the aftermath.
Everyone in the arena had to know this foul was coming. As soon as you saw Angel Reese wide open, you knew that Caitlin Clark was going to come in and take that foul.
All right. So everybody knew that Caitlin Clark was going to take that foul. It was ruled a flagrant foul. I looked at this foul a couple of times, and And it's not even one of the harder fouls. I mean, she grabbed it, pushed her down. I guess, there's a little animosity. The Fever were up in their butt. The Sky was getting whooped. I think Angel kind of overreacted on this one. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. And Angel, my girl, and I love to watch her play, and I'm rooting for her to get better and develop and be a force in the WNBA because I know that she's going to be an absolute superstar because she is already. But this one here was kind of overreacted. From the angles I saw, it looked like she got kind of swung around and thrown to the ground. I mean, but we've seen some hellacious elbows, knockdowns, slam to the ground. We've seen some harder fouls than that. So this one here was kind of, they call it a flagrant, but what I really want to talk about is the actual backlash after this, because throughout the game, the WNBA actually had to come out with a statement because they're during this game, the fans of the Fever, y'all gotta get y'all fans in line. Y'all got some jerks in your fan base that are making it very, very hard to root for your team, where they're making monkey sounds and yelling out racial epithets throughout the middle of the game. This is absolutely ridiculous. It should not be happening in a professional game. And I just don't understand why this is going on. What is this big animosity that y'all think that y'all trying to drive with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, because they don't even play the same position. This is not a rivalry. This is not the female version of Bird and Magic. Okay, this is not that. So y'all need to cut it out. They don't even play the same position, and so y'all can cut it out. All of this saying all this racist stuff while these young women are playing basketball, yelling out all this stuff. We see it happen in the NBA all the time. Draymond Green just had a situation where a fan yelled out some stuff and got kicked out the game. It happens all the time. I don't know what's wrong with these fans, but you're going to be saying something in one of these games and somebody's family member is going to be near you and they're going to turn around and they're going to wear you out. Something is going to happen at one of these games. All last season, the Sky team was getting harassed. They were racial epithets were getting thrown at them. They had to get extra security when they were riding around, getting from the hotels because they had guys, creepy guys showing up, doing all this other stuff. There's no place for this. These women are trying to grow this game. It's an exciting time for women's basketball. We don't need this crap around. And if y'all just going to the games and you all showed up to the FIFA game yesterday and you just decided that you were going to ruin it for the real fans of the Fever by doing all of this, just stay at home. There's no place for this at all. Y'all want to holler about black fatigue and all this bullshit, and then you turn around and do crap like this? Stop it. Stop it. Ain't nobody paying attention to that. And it's targeted at Angel Reese for some reason. Like, this woman has not done anything to anyone. I don't know why she has this bullet. Something just flew in my eye. Why she has this target on her back. She hasn't done anything. All she's trying to do is go out here and play basketball, be who she is, be unapologetically her, be a brand ambassador for the W. She is just as popular, if not more popular than Caitlin Clark. I don't care what y'all say. She is a superstar in the making. She has the deals. She has all the brands, the sponsorships. She's making money. She's a young woman doing a thing. And for some reason, there are grown men out here that's probably living in their basement, their parents' basement, or just typing keyboard warriors that just want to come online and say stuff just to be saying it. I hope that she's not paying attention to that crap because, just focusing on her game and continue to develop. Because I just don't, the WNBA has to do something. The security inside these arenas gonna have to do something. People, the fan bases of the teams gonna have to say something if you're in these arenas when stuff like this is going on, because this is not good for the fan experience and it's not good for these players. And moving on, y'all. And then I heard about this one last week. And I wanted to wait. I was going to talk about this last Thursday, but we had some things go on with the Diddy trial and some things like that. So I circled back to this one. But down in San Antonio, Texas, a mom basically was going to allow her son, her middle school son, to carry out a school shooting. Now, she went out and actually bought the stuff for him to go do this. I don't know what the hell was wrong with this woman, why she would want to do this, but let's take a listen. Let's go down to San Antonio, and I want y'all to hear this.
I think the world is getting scary.
Parents at Rhodes Middle School are disturbed but relieved after a student was arrested for a terrorism charge Monday. According to this arrest warrant, the student's mother, Ashley Pardo, is accused of supplying him with ammunition and tactical gear.
I want y'all to let's go back and look at this again. Let's look at this woman. Let's take a look. Let's pause right here. She look like a weirdo. And there are people out here that walking around looking like clowns like this, walking around the United States, and they're about to allow their kids to become terrorists. Let's keep it going.
Gear.
For a mother to do that, it makes me feel like, what kind of mother is she to be supplying her children with that?
The warrant states this January, the student was caught with drawings that included a map of the school and a rifle. Then in April, it states he was caught researching mass shootings on the school's computer. He was suspended, then sent to an alternative school, but returned back to Rhodes May 8th.
Now, y'all just heard that. Now, he was caught with a rifle, caught searching stuff. They sent him to the alternative school for a couple of weeks, and then they let him come back. That part there just kind of it's kind of mind-boggling that they would allow him to come back to school after you just saw this kid and what he was plotting.
It feels terrifying.
Then on Monday, investigators say the child told a relative he was, quote, going to be famous before leaving for school. The relative then searched his room and found ammunition and an improvised explosive device with "For Britain Tarrant" written on it. Tarrant is a 2019 New Zealand mosque shooter. The student allegedly showed up to school with tactical pants, a camo jacket, and mask, but left before police showed up. They eventually arrested him off campus.
He said he was going to be famous. Him and his mom. They need to be tried. That should be a federal case. Take it out of the state of Texas. They were getting ready to plot. He had an improvised weapon. He was getting ready to weapon of mass destruction. This should be a terroristic charge. You all are raising these homegrown terrorists. I don't know what these kids' obsession is. How are they getting, radicalized? How are they sensationalizing these terrorists? Maybe they're watching these documentaries that everybody keeps want to make and throw up on Netflix about these terrorists. They're searching online, watching this stuff on YouTube about these terrorists. A lot of people are obsessed with these people. Do a lot of documentaries, and now you have a kid out here who was inspired by one and was getting ready to carry out an attack. Getting ready to go to his middle school and kill a bunch of kids, and his mother supplied him with the tactical gear and the weapon to do it. What do we do in this situation here? I don't even know. Is this a gun problem? I mean, where do we start with this one? I mean, luckily enough, he didn't carry out the shooting because it would have been a whole thing about, access to weapons and all this. It's the thought process. That's what this is. This is the thought process. This young man was already radicalized. And regardless on whether his mother got access to the weapon and bought it himself or whatever, it doesn't even really matter in this case because his mom supplied him with it. But it was the thought process. And the fact that his mom was a willing participant to allow him to even think like this. Luckily enough for the kids that go to that middle school, a family member heard it and blew the whistle on it and stopped what could have been very, very tragic. A mask, camo, and tactical gear. He was already suited and booted, ready to go. Ready to go. Mom raising a homegrown terrorist. She looked like one herself. So I'd be curious to see if they're going to upgrade these charges, if these charges are going to stay in the state of Texas, or if this is going to end up being a federal trial. I would hope that FBI would get involved and upgrade these charges and make it federal, considering that they found an improvised weapon that could have caused mass destruction. So, but out in Palm Springs, though, there was an explosion. A young man decided that he was going to detonate himself and blow up a fertility clinic. Why? I'll tell you, getting radicalized on social media, reading crap online, that's all that happens. These people get so obsessed and they're so dejected by what they read online and they get so absorbed. Social engineering is creating these homegrown terrorists. So let's go out to California and take a listen.
Tonight, the search for answers after a vehicle exploded outside a fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California, shortly before 11 a.m. local time.
Make no mistake, this is an intentional act of terrorism. The FBI is investigating it as such. Our Joint Terrorism Task Force is here, working in lockstep with the Palm Springs Police Department.
Police quickly cordoned off the area.
Looks like this is going to be multiple buildings. With damage, blast. Got active fire from one vehicle in a parking lot.
Several businesses were damaged. The windows of this liquor store across the street shattered.
Look at this liquor store. Oh my God.
The windows of a nearby Denny's also blown out. Debris scattered across Indian Canyon Drive.
We have a rapidly evolving investigation with a massive crime scene. There are blocks of debris, and it'll take a meticulous effort to make sure that we get every piece of evidence so we understand very thoroughly what happened.
Witnesses say the explosion could be heard throughout the city.
We heard this loud noise. I shook all of our building. Our patients were scared. We actually thought something had hit our building.
Governor Gavin Newsom says the state is also coordinating with authorities to support the response.
I don't even know where we start with this one. Young man got radicalized and decided he was going to blow himself up and just take out a fertility clinic and everything else. Now, I don't know if the fertility clinic was the targeted hit or he was going somewhere else, but he must have had a lot of explosive if it caused that much damage. If it blew out other, buildings and windows and stuff, he caused a mass explosion for some reason. What would make someone become a a suicide bomber? Like, this is the way that you want to go out. What in your life is going on to the point where you want to strap explosives or be in the car with explosives and detonate yourself along with the explosives? I don't get it. I think it's a cowardly way to go out, to be honest. You're taking out people along with you. I'm pretty sure the FBI to come out with a motive with this one. I honestly, these explosions, these people who are blowing up stuff, this is starting to become like a weekly thing. We have Teslas getting blown up. You got people getting arrested for that. all these pipe bomb explosions and America is sick right now. It's sick. It's sick. We got a lot of sick people. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna find some manifesto when they keep going through this person's background. He's a white male. I'm not gonna put his picture up because I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not giving any air. I'm not gonna make this guy a martyr, but I will say he's a piece of shit though. To willfully go somewhere and harm people for no reason. You know. And then he took the cowardly way out and killed himself. So, don't know if that's justice. Don't know what you call that. But I haven't seen the reports of anybody being injured in this incident. I hope nobody was hurt. But it's a sad state of affairs. You got some businesses got to rebuild. Got the industry down there got to get back together. Infrastructure probably is damaged. Just taxpayers' dollars getting wasted because somebody can't seem to get out of their own way. So, and then finally, finally, I don't really talk about reparations a lot on my channel. I believe in it wholeheartedly, but I don't really get into it that much. There's so many other influencers and content creators out here who discuss it at length, but this one here kind of got to me because I laughed because last year California had an opportunity to pass some. Well, let's go back. Let's start over. California passed a reparations commissions bill back in 2020. And Gavin Newsom signed it. It went into law. For 2 years, they studied it. And then they came out with a report at the end of 2023 with some recommendations and some things for 2024. Some recommendations and some policy memos. And then they brought it to the House. Senator Bradford out in California brought it to the House. Brought it to the Senate. These bills went to the floor to get voted on. After they had already voted on the commission, after they said they would get ready to do all these things, and they had the votes, they didn't have no pushback from the Republicans. Even if the Republicans could have pushed back, California is in a spot where they have a super majority. Democrats got a super majority, meaning that they can just pass whatever the hell they want to pass. And you know what happened? The California Legislative Black Caucus decided that they were going to try to dangle it like a carrot and try to use it for votes for another election, and decided to let the bills die on the floor, not vote on them, caused a lot of animosity between them and the activists in California. And they said, hey, we're going to pick it back up in next session. We're going to pick it back up in next session. Well, guess what? This is how this proverbial can gets kicked down the road. This is how politicians don't have to do anything for anybody. They just kick it down the road. Just kind of like, how abortion is always an issue at every single election, just like voting rights is always a talking point for elections. Health care is always a talking point for foreign, like the same things over and over and over again. Taxes, the same ones we hear every time. They get kicked down the road every time. And California did it. And then, so what happened? People got pissed off. They stayed at home, didn't vote. Changing of administration. Wes Moore goes in as governor. He's the black guy that's in Maryland. People are tooting his name out there as an orator. He might be getting ready for a 2028 election bid for president. His name's been floated out there with Andy Beshear and Gavin Newsom. They out there doing their little fillers. Well, the Maryland Black Caucus, decided that they were going to try to push a study bill so they could study the effects of slavery and Jim Crow and the vestiges of it and come up with remedies and some solutions to try to draft some policies to kind of change the racial wealth gap. And Wes Moore decided that he was going to veto it. Black man vetoing a reparations bill. Now, I want y'all to listen to why he did it. Because, sometimes we don't listen to why people do things. But I want y'all to take a listen to what he says, and then we'll talk about it on the next side.
That's right, and that veto was one of 23 the governor announced late this afternoon. In a letter to the Senate president about his decision, Governor Moore said instead of a study, he wants to see immediate action to address racial disparities. He said given the extensive research already conducted over the past 25 years, Governor Moore believes another study is unnecessary. Instead, he emphasized the need to narrow the racial wealth gap, expand home ownership, and uplift entrepreneurs of color. Moore said he plans to introduce a package of policies in the next legislative session to further those goals. The bill, which proposed creating the Maryland Reparations Commission, proposed various forms of reparations, including financial compensation and tuition waivers. It was supported by the Maryland Black Caucus. In his letter about the veto, Governor Moore said, quote, "While I appreciate the work that went into this legislation, I strongly believe now is not the time for another study. Now is the time for continued action that delivers results for the people we serve."
What do we say? How do we get into this? It's a bad look. It's a bad look. Now, I actually agree with him in theory that there shouldn't be no more study bills. Like, there's enough studying going on. There's enough research is going on. In theory, I believe in that. But we also know that they're not going to do a damn thing to address any single issues. And this was just another one of those carrots that you were trying to dangle out there for votes. Now, this is what makes them look so stupid, because people will see this, and now this headline is going to go out there that Wes Moore has vetoed reparations. He's going to have to eat this one, and it's going to cost you, brother. This one here is going to cost you. When you see bills like this coming through, the easiest thing for you to do is just sign it. Let them go ahead and study it. Kick it down the road. Could have got it out to probably, 2028. People would say, well, he signed a reparations study bill. Did the same thing Gavin Newsom did. You just did the complete opposite. At least Gavin Newsom actually signed the bill. Hell, he hasn't allowed anything to be passed to do anything. But at least he allowed the study to go on so they could have a little hearing and do all that. You didn't allow that. And you're going to try to toot yourself as trying to tackle the racial wealth gap and all that. Y'all be listening to social media. Y'all be listening to YouTube. You all listen to, y'all read the tea leaves that's going on. Y'all read what's on X. Y'all hear the lingo. You hear the language. You hear the reparationists when they, all the jargon that's going on online. You know exactly what to say. And you know exactly what not to do. Wes Moore knows damn well that Maryland wasn't going to pass not one single bill to do anything to address one single issue with black people in Maryland. They're not. And he went for this to sit up there and go for the dog and pony show. He just stopped it right there. Now you're going to be out here trying to run for office. They're going to use this one against you, brother. This was a bad look. Now, the governor said that he got some policies that he want to implement. I guess we're going to see, Mr. Governor Moore. If you're going to do anything that's going to address these issues, I want to see what he's talking about. Because the Maryland Black Caucus has some policies in there. They said tuition waivers. How many young black kids in Baltimore could have used that one? I guess we'll see. Now, Maryland has a budget. They're not in a deficit in Maryland. They actually have a surplus. So we'll see what happens with Westmore, but I tell you what, this ain't looking good. I can't wait to see the headline from the Shade Room or somebody from one of those. I want to see what the comments gonna say, because I know what X is saying. I know what the reparationist community is saying about this. They looking at it and saying, "Yep, here goes another one. Here goes another one. Here goes Obama Light. Come in with all the slogans and the sound bites and a sloganeer. Be a sloganeer. Very good orator. Not one single damn policy gets signed. Not one single bill gets signed in the law that does anything to change anything. Sounds good. Give you that. We got to keep on fighting, and we're going to keep on doing it until we get to that promised land. You'll be dead and gone before you even see the promised land. Let these people do it. This is all Democrats do. They kick cans down the road. And they even, what's crazy about this whole situation to me is that you got Cory Booker and the Democrats in the House and in the Senate talking about reparations in Congress, in D.C., after not saying nothing about reparations for the last 4 years while Biden ass was in office. All of a sudden now, they out here want to introduce HR 40 all over again. A repackaged version of it. Same BS. John Conye's probably rolling over his grave how many times his bill been repackaged. Sheila Jackson Lee did it up until she passed away. I mean, goodness gracious. Now it's back again after being gone for 4 years, not hearing nothing. Now they want to make noise with it. But y'all gonna ride this out to 2028? Gonna talk about it for the next 3 years? Because y'all know the Republicans ain't pushing this bill. Mike Johnson ain't letting this go. Are we serious? What we doing here, man? What are we doing here? Y'all had 4 years. Actually, y'all had 2. First 2 years. Could have done it. Could have got it done. Could have had Biden do it by executive action. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But now they want to hoop and holler and start talking about this again. And this is the same stuff that happens every single election cycle, because it's about to be the midterms. And guess what? They're trying to win. We're coming in election season again. We're right at the election season. The first 100 days of Trump's administration is over with. Now we're getting into campaign mode. Everybody want to make their names felt for the next 3 years so they can be talked about before the primaries. We're going to see what happens. But I guarantee you, not one damn thing is going to get done. All they doing is talking. All they doing is trying to rile people up. They know they're not passing no reparation. They need to stop playing. They're not going to pass it. If they were, they would have already done it. They're trying to keep dangling these carrots. And what you're doing is you don't understand that black people who are actually about that life understand that y'all are full of shit. That's why they're not voting for you. That's why they are completely turned off. That's why they have become agnostic to voting. What? They have voter apathy. I'm sorry, not agnostic. What the hell I'm talking about? Can't use that word. Voter apathy. They have voter apathy. They're not going to the polls. They're not voting for you. So you better change your message. You better get a new one. Because this one ain't working no more. This one is not working anymore. It will not work anymore. It cannot work anymore. Because nobody is paying attention to y'all when y'all do this. This dog and pony show. And for what? For what? So we're going to see how Westmore does this. I'm going to be paying attention. Maryland, my Maryland people. Y'all let me know. Y'all keep me abreast of what's going on in Maryland with Governor Moore. I want to see these bills. I want to analyze what he's about to be proposing gets done, to see if he is about his really about getting things done, or he just full of shit and trying to gaslight for 2028. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I think he a gaslighter though. Yeah. So that's my time for the night, y'all. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back live next Thursday. This Thursday coming up, we'll be back live again. We'll have some updates from the Diddy trial. I may do a show on Tuesday. It probably won't be live. I'll probably just do a recap of the events. Didn't really go into it tonight because really it was just more of the same. 4 days of Cassie on stand. Really nothing that we haven't heard already. But we'll see what goes on next week in this trial. But until then, thank you all so much for tuning in. Culture Nation, let's keep it culture.